World, Midrand. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Deputy Minister of Basic Education, Mr. Enver Surti.
Thank you. Dumelang, goeienaand, good evening. Molweni. It's great to have you all here, Honorable Minister of Basic Education, Angelina Motshekga, the Honorable Premier of Gauteng Province, Sir David Makura. Thank you for joining us today. Esteemed members of the Board of South African Broadcasting Corporation, MECs for Education who are present out here, my colleague, the Honorable Deputy Minister for Higher Education and Training, the Director General for the Department of Basic Education, heads of department who are present here, members of the Portfolio Committee, as well as the chairpersons of both the Portfolio Committee and the Select Committee for Education in Parliament, Umalusi, members, stakeholders in education, ladies and gentlemen, and to our viewers. We are in 2016. Good New Year to all of you, to the viewers and to the audience. 2015 was an interesting year for us because for the first time in the history of the country, we recorded an enrollment for the matric examination of approximately 800,000 learners. Quite remarkable. That number far exceeded by more than 100,000 the number of learners that had written before. It was also quite extraordinary in the sense that the learners who had set for the matric examination were the second group or cohort of candidates who set for the National Senior Certificate Examination in terms of the National Curriculum Assessment Policy Statement, what is called CAPS. This is a high knowledge, high skills examination, and indeed the cognitive demands of the paper were to ensure that our learners have the appropriate capacity cognitively to be analytical, to be innovative, and to be able to foster through and show a good understanding of the human rights culture and ethos in our education system. Our challenges continue to be huge. We all know, for example, that the development of our provinces is asymmetrical and disproportionate. We are all aware of the legacy of the past, and we all recognize the enormous challenge that we have in the system of education. But we can celebrate the fact that we have been bold in what we're doing. We recognize the potential of our learners, and they are seated out here, our beautiful learners out here, and a good example, and they epitomize the quality and the capacity and the ability to achieve amongst all learners across the country. We had made a promise when we were here last year that we would deliver infrastructure to those provinces that had unsafe and mud schools, and indeed we fulfilled our promise. We have been able to deliver successfully over the past 18 months approximately a state-of-the-art school per week, and that excludes the infrastructure grant. The principal recipients of that infrastructure was the Eastern Cape, 99 schools, the Western Cape, 19 schools, and the rest were shared amongst the provinces. And we will continue in that vein to ensure that we create an environment that's conducive to learning. We had made an undertaking, and we continue with that commitment and resolve that we will provide learner-teacher resource materials to our learners, and we continue to supply more than 55 million workbooks to promote literacy and numeracy from grade R to grade 9. We indeed committed ourselves to teacher development, and certainly we have established 147 teacher resource centers countrywide to ensure that our teachers who are critical in the provision of quality education have points of access, nodal points of access, to ensure that they're able to develop the skills and competencies even further. It is now my opportunity, and in fact my privilege, to invite to the podium the Honourable Chairperson of the South African Broadcasting Corporation, Ms. Khumalo. Thank you very much. Ms. Leah Khumalo, SABC board member, sorry, not chairperson, SABC board member. Ms. Khumalo, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'd like to say on behalf of the SABC, we're extremely proud to be in partnership with Basic Education. This partnership is a commitment from the corporation that we're very committed to the progress of our children as they're sitting here, assuring them that the sky is the limit, and that with our support and the partnership with the Basic Education, we're going to go forward and hope this partnership goes a long way and it's in perpetuity. To actually ensure that this partnership is here for the longest of time, we are offering a bursary to a student in a university of their choice in South Africa for whatever genre that they want to study. There is no limitation of whatever that they need to study, and it includes accommodation, meals, and any other expenses that the student is going to require. On that note, I'd like to thank the Honorable Minister, the Premier, the Deputy Minister, and all dignitaries reserved for the opportunity for us to partner with them, and we trust that going forward, this will take us places. Thank you.
Did you know that the statistics show that only 14% of South Africans are readers of books? Only 5% of parents read to their children. This indicates that we do not have a strong reading culture. Literacy is a fundamental building block for learning and also a good personal empowerment tool. That is why we invite you to join the Department of Basic Education's Read to Lead campaign. We urge you to drop all that you do and dedicate at least 30 minutes a day and read a book.
The Accelerated School Infrastructure Delivery Initiative continues to make an impact in the lives of people and communities around South Africa. SABC is an 8.2 billion rand public-private program. The department is eradicating mud schools, providing services to schools without water, sanitation, and electricity. The SABC program has delivered 133 state-of-the-art schools, 520 provided with water, 395 given decent sanitation, and 293 connected to electricity. Through SABC, we are restoring dignity to education.
Well, thank you very much. And when I welcome everybody, I had forgotten to mention the representatives of the various teacher unions. I acknowledge and recognize their presence and thank them for being in attendance and for the support in the past years. The Minister had indicated in the short advert the importance of literacy and numeracy, and we can indeed celebrate the fact that some 800,000 learners who are in grade R receive 4 books delivered to the school, to every child, black and white, in a public institution, to ensure that we start with earnest the campaign of literacy and numeracy in our schools, and that is perhaps another milestone that we can celebrate. Our learners are in the 21st century, and indeed, being in the 21st century, the importance of ICT is critical and necessary, not only for our learners, but also for our educators who must have the ability to integrate ICT into the curriculum. To that extent, we can celebrate a wonderful partnership with many stakeholders, amongst whom is Vodacom. We have digitized our entire curriculum content. We have digitized our past papers and the exemplars of our annual national assessments. And indeed, we have a partnership with Mixit as well as UNICEF, in terms whereof we can access the entire curriculum content, more than 200 books, the exemplars, through our cell phones, and it does not have to be a smartphone. That is a recognition of the importance of technology, and indeed, what we can celebrate is the fact that we've digitized our entire curriculum content, that our grade 10s, 11s, and 12s have digitized mathematics and science books. Our grades 7s, 8s, and 9s have digitized mathematics, science, and technology books, and so do the primary school learners. This means that we are indeed ready for the technological era, which will indeed bridge the digital divide between our rural provinces and our more urban provinces. Now, all this could not be achieved without the support of our partners. And the Minister had launched an initiative some 2 to 3 years ago, in terms whereof we have an Education Collaboration Trust, and our stakeholders work very closely with the departments, not only at the national level, but at a district level, to ensure that we improve the quality of our education. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our sponsors, Vodacom Foundation, Massmart Walmart, SABC, MTN Foundation, Industrial Development Corporation, EduLoan, and FBOB. Would the ladies and gentlemen kindly stand up so that we could recognize you and say, well done, thank you for your partnership. Well, it is now my special honor and privilege to invite the leader of education in the country, my political principal and my partner with whom I've walked a long journey, who has the resolve and the courage and the honesty to ensure that we provide opportunities in terms of access and quality education to all our learners. Minister Angelina Motshekga, welcome to the podium. Thank you.
Deputy Minister, Honorable Anne Vasetti, the Gauteng Premier, Dr. David Makura, the Deputy Minister, Babum Duduzi Manana, my two colleagues from provinces, MEC Shaifa and MEC Lusufi, thank you very much for making the time. Oh, Dr. Tate Kupatsarel, I didn't see you. The Honorable Chairperson and members of the Basic Education Portfolio Committee, the Honorable Chairperson and member of the Select Committee on Education and Recreation, members of Executive Councils present here, the DG, Director General Ntate Matanzi Mamueli, and heads of education departments present, representatives of formations and stakeholders, in particular our teacher unions and our partners, our learners. We also want to recognize learner organizations that are here, courses in particular, top learners performing, top learners, later. This is the best of the nation. These are the brains of the nation. This is the cream of the nation. They hold the key to our prosperity as a country. So to the top learners and their parents, again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Fellow South Africans, good evening. Again, 2015, we gather here to announce the results of the class of 2015. The National Senior Certificate Examinations are a critical summative assessment of the schooling system. And these national assessments have developed in leaps and bounds since they were first written in 1996. And as a sector, we can safely say these assessments have helped to position us as a sector as a custodian of educational standards. And over all these years, the Quality Assurance Council, Umalusi, has continuously confirmed these assessments as a beacon of administrative rigor and exemplars of resilience. The results announced today not only signify the culmination of 13 years of formal schooling, including grade R, but they are seen as one of the key indicators of the health of the system. Not the only one of them. Aristotle, the Greek philosopher and eminent scholar, had to say, I quote, "Excellence is an art won by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtue or excellence, but we rather have those because we have acted rightly. We are what we are repeatedly, but by doing what we are doing repeatedly. So excellence then is not an act, but a habit." So fellow South Africans, I hereby invoke Aristotle precisely because the basic education sector is all about excellence and perpetual acts of performing good habits. And we all agree and acknowledge that basic education is not a sprint, but a marathon. It takes 13 years to go through the system, longer than any other educational process. So allow me to dispel the myth that the basic education sector is judged narrowly by the outcomes of the National Senior Certificate Examinations, but we normally use this opportunity to judge the overall performance of the system using constitutional principles of access, of redress, of equity, as well as systematic imperatives such as efficiency and quality. So the class of 2015 has recorded the highest enrollment of grade 12 learners in the history of basic education system in South Africa. So that's the access issue. This year, the total number of candidates who registered for the November 2015 National Senior Certificates was 799,306. Of these, 925,000 were full-time candidates, and 381 were part-time candidates, which is also very encouraging to see learners who never had an opportunity consistently trying to make sure that they get their certification. And this comes to more than 110,000 candidates more who enrolled for the 2015 exams. And this for us is a positive indicator that we are addressing the conundrum of retention and dropout rates, which is a major issue in the sector for us. And because of time, Program Director won't be able to take you through the difficulties and challenges around retention and dropout rates in the system, which is what we constantly want to deal with as a sector and are confronting. And in this year in particular, made our efforts to begin to confront this big problem of dropout rates and repetition rates. So the other important indicator that demonstrates our marked improvement in access, redress, and equity. It includes the number of 5-year-olds that are attending grade R, which stood at 87.2, the intake of grade 1, which is more than 100%, the percentage of 14-year-olds to 18-year-olds who are still at school at 90.7%, and the percentage of 5-year-olds of children with disabilities who are attending educational institutions. This is also another difficult area that we are confronting as a sector, and we are beginning to report on the progress that we're making in an effort to deal with some of the challenges around children with special needs. So 83.9% of them are educational institutions, but there are lots of issues that we're confronting again here, Program Director and Premier. And the 15-year-old children with disabilities attending educational institutions, we say the ones which are between 7 and 15 is 93.4%, which means we still have not managed to get 100% enrollment. And the number of learners who benefit from a number of safety programs like the school nutrition and no-fee schools, that 80% of South African kids attend no-fee schools in the different provinces. Since Malusi, a program director, has indicated that the percentage pass this year has dropped in terms of percentage pass, now it gives us a special opportunity to give the nation more information on exactly what are the latest developments in the sector, so as to draw the nation's attention on progress and challenges we all have to jointly tackle. So on key areas of the year 2015, it was we encouraged all provinces, and some of them grumbling, and I hope I've not lost friends, requesting them to progress and condone learners who have repeated grade 11 more than twice, and overage learners, and give them an opportunity, extra help, and encourage them to take grade 12. Those that couldn't take all the subjects, we encourage them to modularize. It really made CM sometimes very difficult because MECs had lots of pressures from schools about this decision. But we constantly said we will ignore our challenges about retention and dropout to our own peril. Because these learners, because of overage, we constantly ask them not to come back to school because they're overaged, but they themselves decide after failing more than twice that they give up. And we felt that before they could leave school, let's give them a chance. In 2014 and 2015, and 2015 we increased the number of these learners that we progressed who would not have written or their grade 12 in 2015. So consequently, 2015 saw the largest number of progressed learners since the policy was promulgated in 2013. And an analysis of the raw data on progressed learners paints an extremely interesting picture, particularly this year. For the class of 2015, we had progressed more than 65,671 learners. These are learners who will not have sat for exams this year, 65,000 of them, which made almost 9.8% of the learners that would have written without being progressed. And of these progressed learners, of the 65,000, 22,000 of them passed. Representing 37.6% of learners will not have sat for matric this year passing. But more interesting, 3,297 of the progressed learners, MEC Tate, got bachelors. And this would mean this would have been either dropout rates or discouraged learners. And 8,473 of them got diplomas. And 10,000 of them, more than 10,000, got higher certificates. But more interesting, we got more than 1,081 distinctions from them, ranging from 40 distinctions from progressed learners, and 30 distinctions from progressed learners, and 31 distinctions from progressed learners. And these are normally very difficult subjects, which shows that with extra effort, motivation, support, there is a potential in some of the learners who would have been at risk. On the other hand, we extrapolate the most reliable data on the progressed learners submitted by a number of schools, and the picture becomes even more interesting. Specifically, in 2,275 schools, 75.3% rate was achieved in 2014, which compares favorably with 76.6% in 2015. So if there was any drop, MECs, it's not because of progressed learners only, which means we have to go and say, what is it that made the problem? So the DBE will conduct a more detailed analysis on the effect of progressed learners on the overall NSC results. And at this stage, we can say with some semblance of confidence that the progressed learners did not massively, they did contribute substantially in the drop of the overall pass this year. They did, but not substantively. And we have learned a lot from this exercise working with provinces. We'll continue to strengthen and provide support for progress learners. And unfortunately, because of time constraints, we're unable to elaborate on what are the things that we have learned or which confirm our convictions about the need to strengthen our psychosocial services in schools, because you can't get the distinction from a learner who had no potential to write unless there was something really happening in that lifestyle that needed intervention. So it's strengthening our resolve to strengthen our psychosocial services, differentiated teaching and curriculum pathways, which we'll announce later that this year we're going to be focusing intensely on technical education as another curriculum stream that we really think we should be able to bring in the system, and we'll be launching the program this year. But also on academic and psychological support, including remedial work. And as I say, we'll give more details later in the year. But again, because there were lots of difficulties with the year, with MECs, we've agreed also on improving the selection of learners who get progress despite the fact that they have failed. And we will also announce so that learners who have failed twice should not think that it's pass one, pass all, because provinces were accusing me to say, Minister, now you are bringing a pass one, pass all. So we'll make sure that we're not bringing a pass one, pass all. And we want to congratulate Northwest Province, which has scored 59.9% pass for progress learners. The Free State, MEC Tate, he was one of the very unhappy MECs with this. He's managed to get almost 51% of the failed learners to progress. KZN and Gauteng at 47%, and we implore Eastern Cape and Free State to do better, because for the progressed learners, they stand at 26.8% and 22.4%. So fellow South Africans, the class of 2015, the second cohort to write the National Senior Certificate exams, that is aligned with our international benchmark national curriculum and assessment policy statements. And this cohort has benefited from the maturity of the system garnered over the last 7 years. And as DM has said, CAPS is a high knowledge curriculum. It places a premium on cognitive demands from learners, and CAPS emphasizes subject content and assessment as a centerpiece of curriculum implementation. From 2014, examiners have been progressively increasing the level of cognitive demands on certain NSC examination question papers. This is prescribed in the CAPS statement. The learners, teachers, markers, chief markers, internal moderators, subject analysts, curriculum specialists observed that this year's question papers were different from those of the previous years. We have taken a conscious decision to raise the standards and to improve the quality of our education consistently with the objectives of the CAPS curriculum. Learners this year were expected to deal with many challenges. That's what I said to these learners in the morning, to say they really are resilient for them to be here today. They're the best of the best, because there were quite a number of difficult questions that also made me think twice. For instance, learners were expected, for instance, that they have to say, their question says, El Nino and La Nina, what is the relation in the impact on the productivity and aspects of human life? I mean, I would have had to go and study before I could answer that question. But even as a past history teacher, there was a question that learners were asked to answer a set of questions. One of them was, why did members of BRICS decide to establish a development bank in 2014? That's the kind of the learners that we have who had to answer those current and difficult questions. For instance, in maths, aspects of Euclidean geometry was integrated into algebra and geometric using one of the 7 principles of the National Curriculum Statement, which is about integration in a subject as well as from one subject to the other. And some of these learners got all those questions right. And it is quite evident that learners and teachers must follow current developments and use contemporary information in the classroom to prepare for the year exams. The 2015 NEC exam question papers bear the true hallmark of the CAPS curriculum, underpinning the provision of quality education, which the South African nation has been yearning for all these years. So I'm saying to fellow South Africans, let's not complain about it. You said we must raise the bar, we've raised the bar. So I think we should celebrate that. And in future, our learners will be expected to use the analytical and critical thinking skills in problem solving and in innovation. And as already stated, the sector is geared to continue to produce learners with knowledge and skills to deal with current and future challenges, as well as interact with the environment effectively. And that's why I'm very grateful and appreciative, Premier, that we are very innovative partners like Vodacom who really help us to enrich the content in classrooms, because indeed we have to strengthen and up our games if our learners have to be able to achieve the objectives that we have set, or the standards that we have set for them. So fellow South Africans, I'm glad to announce that the Quality Assurance Council, you heard already, Umalusi, which plays a critical role in protecting the integrity of national senior certificate exams, has, after rigorous verification of all examination processes, declared the 2015 NSC exams as free, fair, and credible. And as Minister, if there's any process that really gives us butterflies, is the Umalusi process, I must tell the Chair. That's where we wait for our results. And if they've been declared free and fair and credible, we remain grateful and appreciative. And during the standardization meeting, which was held on the 23rd of December in 2015, Umalusi did commend us as a department for implementing a world-class curriculum and for having presented a comprehensive evidence-based report, as well as having drastically reduced irregularities, especially involving mass copying. We strongly believe that inclusive education, for instance, is one of the areas that we need to constantly report on. We have, for the past years, included learners with special education needs in tracking learners' performance in the NEC, including our annual national assessments. For instance, this year the number of learners was at 1,691 as compared to 1,320, and we managed to get 308 bachelors from learners with special needs. We got 443 as compared to 308 last year. The diploma passes increased from 637 to 733. And the certificate passes, it moved from 104 to 102. And as I say, on our website, you'll find the speech, because we also, as I say, want to report on the progress that we're making with learners with different special needs. We also are reporting around, because it's been one of the key challenges, the different systems of education, the quintile rank, the no-fee schools and the poor schools. And the 2015 results, the poverty ranking of schools, which is from 1 to 5, revealed very interesting trends also. That the number of learners in no-fee schools increased in 2015. Last year, we had 199,505 learners in poor schools passing, or schools serving learners from poor communities. They've increased from 199 to 280, which is narrowing the gap of learners from poor areas performing, which is an increase of 40.5% increase in those areas, because that's where most MECs have been paying attention to say, let's lift up the bar in poorer schools. And the NEC pass for quintile schools also has increased. It has increased from 106 to 151%, 151,000, which makes 29.8% as a combined increase. But we're also encouraged that we are beginning to see massive improvements from schools serving poorer communities. In terms of bachelor passes, again from poorer or non-fee paying schools, we have more bachelors this year. Last year we had 56,731. This year from no-fee schools we had 84,000 bachelors and 238, which is a 32.5% increase in terms of bachelors coming from schools serving poorer communities. But also bachelors in your fee-paying schools, they've increased from 50,000 in 2014, and this year we have bachelor passes in your quintile 4 and 5 schools, it's 73,810. But for more, what is more gratifying is the closing of the gap between the schools that serve the poor and the schools that are in affluent areas. You want to know the results, not the rest. Okay, let's get to the results. But before I give you the results, let's talk about districts, because districts are very close to our schools and are very important in terms of supporting schools. And we have to say we have 81 districts in the country. 59% of them achieve more than 60%, and unfortunately 29 of them, or 59 achieve more than 60% and 29 achieve more than 80%. And the district that achieved the highest pass rate in 2015 is Dibeng East. In Gauteng Premier, and followed by Gauteng West at 90.2% as the second. Overberg in the West Coast, in the Western Cape, is Overberg and West Coast at 3 and 4 in the Western Cape, performing at 89.7 and 88.9 respectively, and the Cape Metro, again in the Western Cape. So we have 1 and 2 Gauteng, 3 and 4 Western Cape, 5 Gauteng again. It's Johannesburg South at 87.6, which tied with Ekurhuleni North at Tshwane North, both at 87.6. And the 9th is Johannesburg West at 87.6. And the 10th is Bujanala Platinum in the Northwest at 85.3. We want to congratulate Dibeng. But in the different provinces, for instance, we had Thabo Mofutsanyane leading in the Free State, we had Kraddock leading in the Eastern Cape, we had Umlazi leading in KZN, we had Vembe leading in Limpopo, we have Namakwa leading in Northern Cape, we have Enhlanzeni leading in Mpumalanga. So there are 8 districts that perform below 50%, and 7 of these are in the Eastern Cape and 1 from KZN. Finally, there are 14 districts that performed between 50 and 59.9%, and can say there's no district in the Western Cape that performed below 80%. The key interventions did focus on improving performance in gateway subjects and supporting underperforming schools and their principals. And these initiatives clearly have benefited learners. The provincial results that I'm going to represent now come in an ascending order. So if I call you first, it means you are last. So if you want to know if you are first, then just keep on hoping that I don't mention you until I'm on the last one. But before we can do that, I really want to thank the provinces that went all the way to support progress learners. And that's why we'll also give a sense of what things could have been if we had not absorbed progress learners. But I'm really grateful and very thankful that we did that, and I do hope that as we move forward, we will be able to support more of them. But let me just give you a glimpse of what it could have been, the achievement of different provinces if we had not supported progress learners. KZN, which was at 67%, even without progress learners, they would have been at 61.6%. So they would have still dropped with 6%. Eastern Cape would have been at 62%. Limpopo would have been at 71.1%. The Northern Cape would have stood at 77.2%. And I'm sorry about Mpumalanga, they've always been aspiring to hit the 82%, and because of progress learners, they've gone below 82.1%. Northwest, they would have been at 84%. The Tel Sufi would have been at 85.9%, which means we would have registered an improvement of 1.6% had it not been of progress learners. The Free State would have been at 87.7%. You would have registered, you would have improved with 3-point-something%. You would have improved with 3.5% if we had not asked you to support progress learners. And the Western Cape, MEC Schaefer, you would have stood at a whopping 88%, had it not been of progress learners. But now let's talk, they are a reality, they are children, we love them, and we are grateful that we did what we did, and we are not regretting. So Eastern Cape, as I said, if you're number last, if I call you first, you're number last. Eastern Cape achieved 56.8%, and they dropped from 65.4%, including their progress learners. KZN, second from the bottom, they have taken Limpopo's position. They stand at 60.7%, which is a decrease of a whopping 9%. And last year, they were at 67%. So which means that failed learners only account for 1.1%. So they would have in any way have dropped with more than 7%. But you must say it's a province because it's the KZN equals to 5 provinces in terms of learner numbers. So which means they would have produced more kids passing in bachelors because they have more learners in their province. Limpopo achieved 65.9%, down from 72.9%. Northern Cape achieved 69.4%, down from 76.4%. It's going up, ne? So I'm on number 4. And provinces that achieve more than 70%, we have Mpumalanga at 78.6%, and as I said earlier, had it not been of progress learners, they would have been at 82%. So progress learners account for about 4% difference of what they would have achieved. Northwest achieved 81.5%. And as I say, almost 60% of the progress learners have passed. The Free State achieved 81.6%. And without progress learners, we'll be at 87.5%. So it's 6% down. Gauteng achieved 84.2%. Yeah, that. MEC Schaefer. If it was not that we are consistent with all
CM meetings, I would have thought one of my officials told you that you are a leading province. So at least because you attend all meetings, I know no one warned you. So we are proud to say for 2015, Western Cape achieved 84.7, up from 82.4, with or without, with even progress learners. So with progress learners, they registered an improvement of 2.5. And again, as I said, with progress learners, without them, they would have stood at 88%, which would have given them 6% increase in 2015. And the question was, everybody's been asking me to come and account to say what happened, so I'm going to tell you what happened. The three biggest rural provinces, KZN, Limpopo, and Eastern Cape, which between them have 53% of our learners. So if anything happens in KZN, everybody catches a flu. When we were calculating results, MECs, before, because I knew trouble was coming from KZN for all sorts of reasons, we stood at 74%. And when we added the results, that's when we went down to 70%. So between the three provinces, right, between KZN, Limpopo, and the Eastern Cape, that's where, so just to tell the nation what went wrong, that's where things went wrong. And that's what we need to go back to. So the 5 top provinces did extremely well, and for that we're very grateful and very appreciative. But we must say the biggest provinces did dismally badly, and we are committing that we'll go there. So in KZN, 215, 182 learners, it's KZN only. Northern Cape is 10,000. KZN is 215,000. And Limpopo, which signals that these, as I say, just Limpopo, Eastern Cape, and KZN, I said they make 53%. And the number of learners that failed in these 3 provinces gave us a drop of 9% from 2015. That's what happened. That the 3 provinces contributed to 9% of the drop. KZN dropped with 8.6% from the previous results. No, it's 9% KZN, 8.6% Eastern Cape, and 7% in Limpopo. And clearly we must pay attention to KZN, Limpopo, and the Eastern Cape if we're to improve the overall NEC picture, because that's where the majority of the children of the nation are. And if we don't do this, our basic education inputs and outcomes may not improve to the extent that we all wish for. So this brings me to the overall results then. For the past 4 years, the NEC pass rate has been above 70%. Initially, when we were calculating, when they said 50, I said, my job is gone. I might as well let's resign. I was ready to say, let me phone the president in country and say, hey, old man, let me not wait for trouble. You don't have to. I don't have to fall. Let me tell you I'm gone. So indeed, I'm grateful that despite all MECs, the fights we had about progress learners and the difficulties that we've had, we still stood at 70%. And for that, I'm sincerely grateful to you for that, because it was tough. And I already have to commend, as I say, our top provinces and also our learners for maintaining the trend. And I hope my job with it. Because this was the largest cohort in the history of basic education. So, ladies and gentlemen, our 2015 NSC overall results pass stands with all learners, progress and non-progress. It says 70.7%, down from 75.9%. And I did ask the office to also calculate to say, if we didn't add progress learners, where would we be? We would have been at 74.1%, which will still have registered 1.1 decline. And again, so with 9%, KZN has 25% of our learners. With 9% down in KZN, we had lost the battle even from the word go. But that represents, in numbers, 455,825 learners who have passed in 2015. So in terms of numbers, we've won the number game for 2015. Because this is the largest number of learners who would have passed in the history of this country, which represents an increase of 51,952 candidates who would have passed in 2014. And so say the pass rate would have stood at 74.1%, which still would have recorded 1.4% down from 2015. So I really want to say to the class of 2015, congratulations. And the number of learners, because that's what we also use as an indicator, Deputy Minister Mduduzi, I hope you have spaces, otherwise, I don't know, in the fall season. That for bachelors this year, we have 166,273 learners who will have qualified with bachelor's degrees this year as compared to 150,773 in 2014. In terms of numbers also, the number of learners passing maths, passing well, we've increased them from 120,523 in 2014 to 129,481 in 2015. And those learners who pass physical science have increased from 103,348 in 2015 to 113,121 in 2015. And amongst those, question or no question, big hot or not big hot, we have more than 3,711 distinctions more. Not only that, more that we've achieved this year as compared to 2015. In 2014, there were 157,913 distinctions which were achieved, whereas in 2015, we have 161,624 distinctions achieved. So the total number of distinctions increased from 59,981 from 2014 to 63,348 distinctions in 2015. But what is more exciting, because the 50-50 it's a very important policy that we have to always report on. 90,227 girl children, as compared to 76,236 boys obtained bachelors. You can see that even in big numbers here. We had some fights during the day with some of the learners to say, Mama, why does it look like you don't like boys? And I can tell you my only child is a boy, so they have no choice of not loving boys. So the overall pass rate for girls as compared to boys, more than 243,108 girls passed as compared to 2,102,717 boys passed this year. And because we knew, and most journalists will tell, they kept on asking, Mama, what do you think is going to be the pass rate? I said, if it passes, if it increases, then which means I don't know my work. There is no way. There is no way. And that's why I'm surprised that Western Cape did the 2.4. There was no way we could have increased. As a result, from the word go, we planned for what we call the second chance program. So we have a special plea to all those learners who didn't succeed, that this is not the end of the world. We have a special support program to assist all of you who would have not passed this year. We call it the Second Chance Matric Program, which is intended to provide additional support to learners who have not been able to meet the requirements for the National Senior Certificate by increasing learner retention, because that's the biggest battle. And the categories of learners who qualify for the Second Chance Program are the learners who are covered. The learners who are covered are those who qualified for the supplementary exams for a maximum of 2 subjects. It's also the progressed learners, because we said only 37% of them passed. We're also going to give them additional support, because we advise some of them to modularize the exams, to say, if you think 6 is too much, take 3. So we'll give them extra support in the areas which they have not where they have not written. So we are really encouraging all learners to come for the second chance, and we will be officially unveiling full details of this program director, tomorrow in Tembisa at Ivory Park Secondary, and we'll give full details about how the second chance program would work, because as I say, we did anticipate, with all the changes that we did in the sector, that we will not be able to register progress. And as a result, already for the whole year, we've been working on the second chance, and we're ready to support learners who will not have succeeded in 2015. I thank you.
Is regarded as a strategic program of this government in our quest to promote unity and diversity and social cohesion.
Our conductor once said, we have the right attitude towards music, and I guess that's why we are here.
Through this choral music festival, we are addressing the social dimension and benefits of education. The government values this project as it resonates well with our long-cherished vision to improve the quality of life for all our people.
Once again, a very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to this exceptionally important occasion. Indeed, celebrations are in order. Well done to the class of 2015. Our thoughts are, of course, with those who made it, but also to those who tried. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Ayanda Ali Payne. I'm a news anchor by profession, which means that more often than not, I am the bearer of bad news. So this evening, it gives me great pleasure to bring you good news for a change. Allow me to announce the awards for the 2015 Grade 12 Top Achievers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin by taking a look at their coveted prizes from our very generous sponsors.
Top achievers will receive the following prizes from our sponsors. From EduLoan, a card to the value of 4,000 Rand to purchase textbooks. From IDC, a laptop, stationery and school bag. From Massmart Walmart, prices to the value of 5,000 Rand. From the Vodacom Foundation, a laptop, printer, cell phone and airtime. From AVBOB, a gift voucher to the value of 5,000 Rand for study material. From the SABC Foundation, a bursary to the value of 300,000 Rand for successful studies from 2016 to 2019. From the MTN Foundation, a laptop with 2 GB data bundle, including special software should the learner be deaf.
I'm sure many of us are wishing we could turn back the hands of time. I think more so for that data bundle, hey? Those of us who like WhatsApp. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin by announcing the top achievers in mathematics.
Top mathematics learners. In third place, Aravind Arunakirinada, Durban High School, KwaZulu-Natal. In second place, Tejum Park, Rondebosch Boys High School, Western Cape. In first place, Rebecca Haynes, Rustenburg Girls High School, Western Cape.
Congratulations to you. Now, for the purposes of time, I'm going to try and speed things up just a tad so we can get through all the learners and they can be seen on television so their friends and cousins and everybody can see them. I'm going to move on to the next category for this evening, top achievers in Quintile 1.
Top learners in Quintile 1. In third place, John Sibanda, Matleke Secondary School, Gauteng. In second place, Dimpo Palani, Mampujani Secondary School, Limpopo. In first place, Mangaliso Dobe, Doli Secondary School, Eastern Cape.
Alala Mangaliso, congratulations to you and a job well done. And I think as the minister said, it is another lady, I'm just saying. watching, if you're keeping an eye on these things. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the next category, top achievers in physical science.
Top physical science learners. In third place, Ernest Molelle, Reiger Park Secondary School, Gauteng. In second place, Kukoguhle Tsengwa, St. John's College, Eastern Cape. In first place, Hamandishe Matiba, Mbiri Secondary School, Limpopo.
Representing for the gentlemen this evening, congratulations to you and job well done. All right, now this category, ladies and gentlemen, is an admirable one. These are the learners who have achieved against all odds.
Top learners with special educational needs schooling. In third place, Selbiri Kamfu, Rivoni School for the Blind, Limpopo. In second place, Nzusheko Maluleke, Rivoni School for the Blind, Limpopo. In first place, Nozipiwo Mdingi, Ifata School for the Blind and Deaf, Eastern Cape.
Well done, CCC Azikenya Ngawe. Congratulations. Moving on to top achievers in mathematics and physical science, let's take a look at the nominees.
Top mathematics and physical science learners. In third place, Aviwe Blackbeard, St. John's College, Eastern Cape. In second place, Kukoguhle Tsengwa, St. John's College, Eastern Cape. In first place, Amandishe Matiba, Mbiri Secondary School, Limpopo.
We can see who's got the monopoly here. Well done once again to you. Congratulations. Top achievers in quintile 2, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at the nominees.
Top learners in quintile 2. In third place, Ernest Molelle, Reiger Park Secondary School, Gauteng. In second place, Mpapuri Pinduro, Chibase Secondary School, Limpopo. In first place, Furuferani Mashapa, Chibase Secondary School, Limpopo.
Alala Fulu, well done to you. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling the pressure. These kids are too smart for me. I think I feel a little bit exposed this evening. My job is indeed on the line. In the next category, ladies and gentlemen, top achievers in quintile 3.
Top learners in quintile 3. In third place, Siboniso Boholu, Tuto Kizo Comprehensive School, Gauteng. In second place, Namhla Judu, Center of Science and Technology, Western Cape. First place, Mapula Sibati, Dendron Secondary School, Limpopo.
Alala Mapula. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the nominees for top achievers in quintile 4.
Top learners in quintile 4. In third place, Amandishe Mativa, Mbiri Secondary School, Limpopo. In second place, Karel Kutsia, Potchefstroom Gymnasium, Northwest. In first place, Simone Yenop, Gelofte School, KwaZulu-Natal.
Well done to you, Simone. Congratulations. I'm overhearing the minister saying the girls are doing it. I think while we're at that, Minister, we must take a look at Amandisha. He seems to have had a tender on these things. He's got too many awards. Congratulations to them. The last category for this evening, ladies and gentlemen, are the top achievers for quintile 5. Let's take a look.
Top learners in quintile 5. In third place, Tala Ross, Claremont High School, Western Cape. In second place, William May, Tygerberg High School, Western Cape. In first place, Andrew Tucker, SA College High School, Western Cape.
Well done, Andrew, and congratulations to the class of 2015. That's all from me for now, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to please reintroduce and call back on stage the Deputy Minister in the Department of Basic Education, Mr. Enver Surti.
Thank you very much. It's extremely difficult to compete with you. You've been an extremely efficient program director. It's my privilege now to express my gratitude to all the MECs who are present out here and who are not present for the support that we've received out here. I see the Free State is here, Limpopo is here, Western Cape, and Gauteng. I could share with you that there is this perennial competition between Gauteng and the Western Cape. From time to time, Western Cape would say, well, we've got a better, higher percentage of bachelor's passes, and Gauteng would respond to say, well, we've produced 15,000 more than you did, so let's see who the winner is. But the gap between the two provinces is extremely small. But what we've seen last year and the year before is that Free State and the Northwest could achieve the same heights, or could rise to the same heights. And I think it's a collective effort and contribution to the system of education. It is my responsibility and my duty to thank our DG, Mr. Mweli, for his leadership, the heads of department of the different provinces, the officials who are responsible for a very successful and certainly a very challenging examination, both in the national department as well as the provincial department, to Umalusi for the incredible support that they provided us. You are right there, Mr. Dr. Komitse, I can see you there. And sorry, but we feel a little let down that you've announced the drop in the rates before we did. You took away our thunder, but you've given us an opportunity, a platform to explain. But certainly, I think you are robust in the way you deal with matters, and the reality is that we have challenges and we will continue to have challenges. What we did not mention is perhaps the reality that we've introduced English across the curriculum, because the compensatory marks.
We forgot to mention, it's the top, because we need to have the top learner for 2015 nationally. It's yourself here from Western Cape. Come and let's congratulate you as the top overall learner for 2015.
Very, very well done.
So we'll give you details of what makes him the national top learner nationally for all the courts in 2015. He scored the highest scores and the highest results. So congratulations for being the top learner of 2015.
And for the information of the audience, he happens to be a male. And I'm sure Debbie Schaefer will say he's from the Western Cape. And of course, Panyaza Lesufi will say, look at the districts we perform, our achievements. So the contest continues amongst them. So thank you very much, Minister. I think it's a very, we certainly couldn't omit that. It's a reflection of the hard work and the wonderful effort of the learners as a whole and from the individual concern. But I think it's important for us all to support, to thank our sponsors for the support that they provide to us perennially, and thank you very much for that. We acknowledge that. To the teacher unions, notwithstanding Anna, more than 20% did right, with or without you. But be that as it may, I think we have a very solid relationship. And the system cannot work without the collaboration and support of the teacher unions, to SACE and all other entities that are responsible for making education successful. This morning, when the minister addressed the learners, she said, what we require is positive energy. And indeed, we recognize the challenges that we have, but we must celebrate the achievements that we have. To think about it, that more than 9,200,000 learners are fed every day. It's no mean accomplishment. I think it's quite incredible. The fact that we are able to provide learning teacher resource materials free of charge delivered to the school to our learners is quite an advance forward. I just think that the system has stabilized. And the district directors, thank you very much for your support. We meet quarterly for the past 7 years. Every quarter, the minister, the deputy minister, The Director General, the heads of departments meet with the Directors General to ensure that together we develop an agenda to take education forward and improve the quality of our education. What we've learned about 2015 is that equity matters, that we have to do much more in our rural areas, that there are provinces that require extended support, but we have to extend our hand to those provinces, and together we can do more. There is hope, there is a belief that indeed South Africa can produce the best, and here they are on the left-hand side. Thank you very much to the learners for your wonderful achievement. You make us very proud. To the educators of those learners and the parents who have inspired, motivated, and support them, we say thank you very much. And to the audience, thank you for bearing with us. Kia leboha, nkosi. Thank you. You see, now you know where I get my instructions from. My minister says that I would be extremely rude if I don't invite each and every one of you to a dinner that has also been provided and sponsored by our sponsor.
Hi, Sally, how are you? Okay, who's in studio? Are you on the desk or in studio? Okay, you guys have taken it, isn't it? No, you're not. Shouldn't be. Oh, okay, fine. Then you're then gonna come to us for that interview with Angie. Yeah, they are going to bring her here. Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. Yeah, but she's not here yet. So, yeah.
Our top
fine.
achievers, now that they finally know what they've achieved, the ushers will be guiding you to the dinner venue, while the minister, our MECs, our dignitaries are going to be ushered to media interviews. So please enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for celebrating with us. Thanks for celebrating our great learners. They've really achieved well, and I think we can give them a last hand of applause, and to their parents. Thank you very much.
So that only 14% of South Africans are readers of books. Only 5% of parents read to their children. This indicates that